Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to present you this. This is a snap lens to do macro photography, Raynox 250. So let's start. Before going any further, first I want to thank one of my subscribers, Stéphane Baudoyou from France. He actually sent me this lens, the snap lens, because he bought a macro lens, so he didn't need it anymore, so he gave it to me so I could present it on the YouTube channel. He sent it to me several months ago, but I had no time to review it yet. I wanted to make a comparison with other type of lenses or system to macro. Didn't have time either, but I will still show some difference with my 60mm macro lens. Okay, so thank you very much, Stéphane, and let's start. So what is a snap-on lens? Well, this is, open it, here it is, okay. The front cap, the back cap, here it is. This is simply a magnifying glass, if we speak this way, okay. It's 8 times, okay. So you have a diameter of 49mm. If your lens is 49mm, you can mount it straight away, directly. But if not, it comes with an adapter that is from 52 up to 67mm. You simply screw this on, okay, this way, okay, and then here you have like a system like this. So it's a lens, okay, and that's it. It's mounted. This is my Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II with the 40 to 150mm. The one for poor people, as I say always. This is mine, okay. This is from f4 to 5.6. There is a 40 to 150 that is 2.8, okay, but this is the one I have, okay. So I mounted it on this one, and also on the Gibaud 25mm 1.7. I actually reviewed. I'll leave you the link here. And so this is on one hand, and on the other hand, on my other Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II, I've put the 60mm 2.8 macro by Olympus, just to compare a bit the results. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how it works and my impression and the result, and get to some conclusion. So let's carry on. So as I was saying, the good thing is you can vary from 49mm, the native size, up to 67mm when you use the adapter. Actually, you're going to use this on any lens you have that fits here, okay. I don't know if you have a larger one, I'm not sure, but this is one I get, okay. So here I just put it directly on this 40 to 150, or I put it here on my 25mm, and that's it, ready for macro, okay. So what I like about this, that if you have several lenses, you can have macro available on several lenses. And also with a big difference with my prime lens, my 60mm 2.8 macro by Olympus, that is a prime lens, same as my 25mm Gibaud. Here if I put it on my 40 to 150, my zoom is still available. It means maybe I can do different things. So it is what we're going to see, the difference, okay. The one thing we should look at is actually the quality of the results. So here I show you two pictures. One is made with the Raynox with this lens, and the other one is made with the Olympus. I think sharpness is really similar, okay. So I think the result depends more on the quality of the lens you put behind this magnifying glass than the glass itself, because this Raynox glass seems to be good quality. So I think the sharpness was there, okay. So now we're going to see more details and speak more about it. Well, the first thing I like about this is, as I can put on several different lenses, I don't have the magnifying limitation I have on my 60mm. This is a great lens, okay, but when I get as close as possible and the largest as I can, it's still 60mm, the equivalent of 120 if it was in full frame, okay. So if I want larger, I would need extension tube, okay. In this case, if I have a longer lens, if you don't have, then you have the same problem. But if you have a lens that is a lot longer, like this one, which is the equivalent up to 300mm equivalent full frame, then I can get larger magnification. So as you can see in the sample I'm just showing you right now, I can get a lot closer with this because I'm able to put it on the longer lens. Okay, so I wanted to do a special extension tube video included with this, compare everything, but I had several problems and delays, all this, I could not do it. So I present this today because many people have been asking, but soon I'll make a full review of comparison with macro lens, snap lens like this, tubes, extension tubes, and reversed lens, okay, to make a complete comparison. Okay, but so far I think this is great, that if you have a longer lens than the typical macro, you can get actually larger, more magnification without having to use extension tubes. So that may be some advantage because you don't have to buy them, you use your longer lens and that's it. So now let's see the cons. Okay, well, first with this, the 60mm 2.8 macro by Olympus, I've got no focusing problem, whether it's in manual mode or autofocus. As long as I am further than the minimum distance, I will focus on the point I want, no problem. Okay, with this is another story. The autofocus works, but this is really thought for macro. Some people actually use their macro lens to make portraits. Okay, in this case, very easy. You take this off and you make your portrait, obviously. But in case you want to be a bit further than what the magnifying lens lets you really focus, and you're already too close from the subject for the lens you have, then it's impossible. For example, I've got a picture of this with Olympus. I could focus just the size, like some kind of proxy. It was not really macro, it was proxy. With this, it was not just possible. Didn't matter what I was using, what focal length I was using. I was with this, without, I was too close, and with this, I was too far. So there's a zone that you're or too far or too close. If you don't put the lens, the cap on, this snap on, then you're too close to the subject. And if you have the snap on, then you're too far from the subject. So there's an area or zone when you cannot actually focus properly. So it is, in my opinion, a bit harder to focus with this. Important, all the tests I made them handheld. I know that for macro photography, it's recommended to use a tripod, but when I was outdoor, I wanted to be like some kind of real situation where many people, they want to make a picture of a plant and it's a bit hard, they don't have a tripod, whatever. So I wanted to test this way. This is really one I noticed it was a bit difficult to focus, to move all this. Is a bit difficult with the snap lens. And when I was indoor, I did the same thing, to have something similar. So my first conclusion is that, well, for the price it costs, like 60 euros, $60 or $70 US dollars, something like this, it's really easy to think, well, that's worth it because it's a lot cheaper than a macro lens. Well, it depends which macro lens we're speaking about. If you speak about the Olympus, yes, it's a lot cheaper. But if you speak about the TT Artisan I reviewed a short time ago, it's about the same price, maybe a bit more the macro lens by TT Artisan, but not that much more, okay? And then don't forget that it is fully manual, and same as if I use my Olympus in manual mode, I will probably have some kind of problem with focusing in manual mode. It's harder than autofocus. Still, it's really usual in macro lens to macro photography to focus manually. Okay, anyway, but I think their decision is a bit hard. Okay, what I think is if you really do a lot of macro photography, maybe it's interesting to have a macro lens. But if you do from time to time some macro photography, maybe not because you like it, but because you have to do it. Let's say you're a wedding photographer and you need to do a picture of the rings and what's written in there. Well, you can quickly snap this on your lens, make the picture, and that's it. But if you have to make many pictures in the wedding of details or whatever, that's a wedding, it could be anything else. And from time to time you need to make many pictures. Well, maybe then you're better off having a real macro lens to work faster, okay? But still, I think this is a really good option to step into macro and try it if you like it. And then if you like it, then later, maybe if you feel you need it, buy a lens like this, okay? This is actually what Stefan, who sent me the snap lens for free because he didn't need it anymore. He bought it, and then one day he bought a real macro lens. Okay, so that may be your case, but I think it's a good way to step into macro. Important, although this snap lens, you can use it on a mirrorless camera or a reflex camera, a DSLR, no problem, or SLR if you want, okay, but no problem, you can use it. But in my opinion, there is a big advantage of using mirrorless because you can actually activate the focus peaking and exactly where it's focused. Although you use autofocus, you can still fine-tune manually to make sure, because in macro it's really easy to be just out of focus or focus not exactly where you need. So in this case, this is a big advantage to use your mirrorless camera instead of a reflex camera. But yes, you can use any kind of cameras, reflex, mirrorless, doesn't matter, that works. Okay, so my conclusion, well, I think that someone who doesn't have much budget or doesn't want to spend too much money, this is a really good option. And I think the fact that you can change from one lens to another gives you a lot of versatility. I think it's really practical. Okay, obviously, if you think of making a lot of macro photography, I think it's still better to have a real macro lens, but otherwise I think it's a good option. Maybe you don't want to buy a cheap macro lens because it takes too much space in your bag. I know the box is big, but you don't have to use the box. Without box, it's not that big. It fits in a pocket of your bag. Okay, no problem. You can protect it or whatever. Okay, so I think that's a really good option for someone who doesn't want to spend much and do some macro photography. You will have time to maybe later use other thing or a specific macro lens. That's an option. Okay, so yeah, I think it's completely recommendable. So in case you would be interested, I'll leave you a link in description where you can buy it. And second, before saying goodbye, I want to thank very much Stéphane Bourdieu for giving me this. This is great, thank you. And if you feel this video may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here is a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links to other part of my YouTube channel, and a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.